Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So today what I want to talk about is a glaring blind spot that I've been seeing in screenwriters that I've been talking to recently. So let me explain. Recently I've been taking calls for my program High Level Screenwriting, which is a program specifically for writers that have some industry experience and a few screenplays finished and are trying to close that gap and enter the industry, get a sell-ready screenplay, and get the industry game plan they need to actually move into the industry. And so as I've been talking to some of these writers, just kind of seeing where they're at, trying to get a feel for whether or not they would be a good fit, I have noticed this pattern where writers believe that their stories are good enough or pretty good. They've written, maybe 3 or 4 screenplays, they have a decent handful, and now they only think that their problem is finding that specific agent, that specific manager, that one producer that's going to read their work, realize it's genius, and then they're going to be a professional screenwriter. And for the large majority of these people, I think that is highly, highly unlikely. So I have worked with a lot of different writers one-on-one, looking at their screenplays, reading them, and writing up notes and this sort of thing. And I have not worked with one single writer that had to rewrite less than 30 pages of their screenplay, okay? And I've worked with writers with master's degrees in screenwriting, and so I think that this is a serious blind spot, because the reality is that if you are 5 screenplays in this sort of place, it's highly unlikely that your scripts are sell ready. It's highly unlikely that your stories are actually ready to enter the industry. And what's likely happened is you have hit a plateau, okay? So you think your writing is decent or good enough, and because you can't see any more glaring problems in it, you assume you're writing at a professional level and believe that now you're just waiting for that agent or that manager to read your work, and then you'll be good to go. And so while this might be the case for some writers, I think for the large majority of the writers I've spoken to, this is likely not the case. And so as you are approaching that point, right? If you are a writer that has 3 or 4 screenplays done, if you're a writer that has done the work of rewriting your stories, of doing your own self-taught education, and you are looking to enter into the industry in a pretty short period of time, I want you to realize that it's very likely that you still have a lot of work to do, right? I'm working with writers that are in LA with strong connections who have written a lot that have glaring problems in their work, and they need help to get these stories to that sell-ready level, okay? And really it comes down to understanding that as you go to each phase of your writing, there's going to be new problems to fix, new things to solve on your trajectory to actually becoming a professional writer. And also I think it's surprising sometimes, the idea that with 3 or 4 screenplays, you are fully ready to go. Like, writers who are professional writers have written way more than you think they have, right? And this is the thing too, right? If you have never gone back and done a full, complete page 1 rewrite of a story, then you're probably not looking at your writing harshly enough, right? Because the reality is there is no way that your writing is so close to being finished that you're just in the polishing phase after writing 2 feature-length screenplays and that's it, okay? So, I just want you to keep that in mind as you are looking at your own writing. And so then looking forward, right, how do we actually solve this? Well, one, it's about understanding what your problems are. But if you're not sure if you have story problems, a great place to figure out whether or not you do is by submitting to competitions, submitting to feedback services, submitting to coverage sites. All these different places are great, right? If you have access to script readers, submitting to them, because you need some third-party feedback on your story to actually know where you are, right? If you've never gotten any sort of objective feedback from people you didn't know on your story, you really have no idea where your story is sitting in regards to other ones. And of course you can read professional screenplays and try to compare your work, but the problem with that is now your ego is wrapped up in your own writing, right? It's hard to see the problems in your own writing because at a certain point, your ego is just saying that this is good and it doesn't need to be fixed. And it's also, part of it is not wanting to take the journey of having to fix it, right? Like, it is a process. When you actually open a story back up and commit to changing 50 pages, 60 pages or more of a story, it takes work. And I have to, every time that I need to do rewrites, it's the same kind of thing. I'm like, this story needs 60 pages of rewrites, or this story needs a page 1 rewrite. And it's not fun to hit that moment, but it's all about what is your goal, right? Is your goal to actually tell stories at a very high level, or is your goal to have people tell you that your script is great every time you give it to them, pat yourself on the back, and then continue doing something that isn't actually your dream and that isn't actually impacting people? So that's what I want you to think about today. And if you are in a position where you have a few screenplays done, you have some industry experience, and you're looking to get your story sell ready, as well as getting a full game plan of how to navigate the film industry, then I want you to click the top link in the description to talk to me about high-level screenwriting and potentially hopping in. So I'd love to talk to you about that. Top link in the description. Let's hop on a call, and I will see you guys next week.